Moley and Friends Storytime. Beneath your feet, below the ground, there's a town where moles are found. A magical place where the fun never ends. For our hero Moley and all his friends. Now, let's see what's going on beneath the molehill. The Abominable Snowmole. It was snowing in Mole Town, and one mole in particular was having the time of his life. Old Coot rolled in the thick, fluffy snow, tossed clumps of it into the air, and laughed until his whiskers froze.
Oh, yeah! I love the snow. Look at me, a snowmole angel.
Old Coot was dancing in the snow when he suddenly came across the entrance to a tunnel. It was beautiful, covered in sparkly icicles. He heard some rumbling from deep in the tunnel. It was quiet at first, but then it started getting louder and louder. The noise was getting closer.
Hello? Anybody there?
He called out. Suddenly, a pair of bright glowing shapes appeared. Two big eyes popped up, and a giant white figure started growling. Old Coot froze.
Oh no! It's the Abominable Snowmole! Oh!
He screamed. He turned around and ran away as fast as he could. Meanwhile, down in Mole Town, Moley and Dotty were hanging fairy lights around the square. Dotty sat in the middle of a hopeless tangle of cables. Moley rummaged through his wheelbarrow of spare bulbs.
Oh, lucky the humans throw these lights out every year. Very handy.
Mona Lisa connected a purple crystal. The lights flickered and sparkled before going out again.
Oh, mucky mudholes,
grumbled Moley.
This is a never-ending job.
But the square looked cosy all the same, with lanterns glowing and the delicious smell of homemade hot cocoa coming from the cafe. Then came a strange, far-off rumble. Mona frowned. What's that noise? A moment later, Old Coot came running down into the town square, covered in snow.
Run for your molehills!
Shouted Old Coot.
The Abominable Snowmole is coming after us!
And off he scampered before anyone could stop him. Mona Lisa shook her head. He's probably seen his own reflection again. Moley was concerned that Lester was still up in the tunnels collecting ice for the Grand Café Moley. You're right, said Dotty. Nobody's seen him since this morning. Dotty zipped up her coat. We'd better go and fetch him. Come on, Moley. Moley hesitated.
But what if there really is a snow mole?
Oh, come on, Moley. He won't bite. Let's go, said Dotty impatiently. Manny, the magical book, flapped his pages. He wasn't fond of the cold, but of course he would go with his friends, just in case they needed a little magic. As they ventured, frost glistened on the trees. Their paws squeaked on the ice.
Spooky, isn't it?
Whispered Moley. Dotty held up her magnifying glass. Oh, look! Big footprints! Moley shivered.
Oh, my wiggly worms! Too big for any mole. Ah!
Before Moley could finish his sentence, the snow gave way beneath his feet. He yelped and vanished. Oh, Moley! Cried Dotty, looking down into the big hole through the ice.
I'm okay,
came a muffled voice from below.
Just testing gravity, you know.
Moley brushed himself off. He'd fallen into an old forgotten tunnel beneath the snow. Crystals glittered all around him. Then he heard some voices. Two shapes were huddled in the snow. It was the gardener and his little helper Squirm.
Fancy meeting you here,
said Moley.
What are you two doing down this old tunnel?
The gardener looked guilty.
Well, we might have made a fake snowmole to give old Coot a scare.
Squirm nodded along guiltily. The gardener went on.
It was just an harmless prank. Honestly, we tied icicles to a sled and made scary noises. But when old Coot ran off shouting, the tunnel ceiling fell down. We couldn't get out because of the snow.
So,
said Moley slowly,
the monster that old Coot saw was you?
The gardener nodded, looking guilty. Moley sighed.
Well, now everyone is scared of made-up snowmoles and monsters.
From above, Dotty's voice echoed down the hole.
Moley, are you all right?
Just fine,
he called back.
But there's no exit down here.
Hang on, I've got a rope, said Dotty. Dotty looped the rope around her waist and lowered it into the tunnel. The gardener held onto the rope while Dotty leaned back, pulling with all her strength. She pulled and pulled, but her paws started slipping on the snow.
Oh, Manny!
Dotty gasped.
I need a little magic help, please.
But Manny was frozen stiff. His pages were covered in ice. Dotty was sliding into the icy hole when suddenly something behind her started pulling back on the rope. Something big and strong. A deep, scary voice called out behind her.
Need a helping paw?
Dotty looked back, and there was a giant snow-covered monster pulling on the rope with all his might. Moley, the gardener, and Squirm eventually popped up out of the hole. They were happy to have escaped the tunnel below, but to their surprise, they saw that there was a giant, abominable snowmole standing there. Screamed Moley and the gardener. Then all of a sudden, the monster shook his head wildly, and all the snow fell off his face to reveal none other than the missing mole. It was Lester after all.
Lester!
Cried Moley, relieved.
We thought you'd been eaten by the snowmole.
Lester laughed.
Oh, I'm no snowmole. Well, I just got covered in all this fluffy snow.
Moley smiled.
So there were two fake monsters. First the gardener, and now you, Lester.
And they all laughed. They all jumped on board the gardener's sled and sped down the snowy tunnel. The sled burst into the town square just as Mona and Mishmosh turned on the festive lights. The whole of Mole Town was covered in beautiful colours, just in time for everyone to enjoy a hot cup of cocoa and marshmallows. As they warmed themselves up, old Coot was hiding behind a lamppost.
Oh, so there really wasn't an abominable snowmole?
He said. Moley smiled.
A rumour is like a snowball rolling down a hill. It grows bigger and bigger the further it goes.
Just like a giant snowball,
said old Coot. But as he glanced up, he saw something in the sky. It was a big fluffy cloud that was just passing overhead. His eyes grew wide. He opened his mouth and cried,
The abominable snowmole is coming! Run for your molehills!
And old Coot sped off once again. But this time nobody panicked. Everyone sipped on their hot cocoa and enjoyed the twinkling festive lights, knowing that there is in fact no such thing as a snow mole. Or is there?